As we resume our Ratty 1/24th scale Golf GTI, we turn our attention to the interior components. The Revell kit features a nicely detailed set of seats and inner parts. We start off by coating them in black surface primer by Vallejo. A liberal coat is sprayed through our Iwata Neo trigger airbrush. The bonnet, or hood, is also primed, as we have a specific finish in mind for that part. You can see how the surface primer gives a pleasing even coating. It seemed like a good idea to make the seats appear old and cracked. To give the leather that beaten look, we experimented with a product called Crackle Medium by Vallejo. Because we wouldn't see it too much once complete, it was worth giving it a go and doing a bit of experimentation. The medium was painted on by brush over the black primer. After a few minutes, it begins to crack and give this effect. Once dry, an enamel panel wash by Ammo by MIG was applied to bring out the detail. The effect is subtle but convincing. The leather seats are now as battered as the exterior. It's time now to apply the decals that come with the kit. With the instructions to hand for guidance, we gently soaked the transfers to loosen them. They detach easily and are of good quality. First, microset decal setting solution was used. The seat covers went on pretty well. Pressing down with a cotton bud helped. Next, to soften the decals still further, micro sole was used on top. We then found wedging the front covers down with a cotton bud actually held them in place. With repeated applications of the second part of the setting solution, everything softened and settled down nicely. We could then dirty up the decal seats a little more using Life Colour's liquid pigments. Black grey was used, followed by sand in the footwells. These products can of course be adjusted using the Life Colour remover. The various dash and other dials were added afterwards. Some cigarette packets from Reality and Scale were used for a bit of realism and life, even if you'll never see them from the outside. On to the windows next. For the seals around the window glass, we used a deceptively easy technique. Tamiya makes some excellent enamel paint marker pens. The design of the nib combined with the quality of the paint makes picking out raised seal detail easy. Simply run the squared end carefully over the seals. There you go, neatly painted rubber weather seals. To give the rear windows a tinted look, we painted them from the inside with Tamiya Clear Smoke. For more details on these fantastic clear paints, see our other videos. Having coated the underside of the optics in Vallejo Silver, we used Tamiya Clear Red and Orange on the indicators. Next, it was time for some wheels to replace the kit parts. We bought several resin and metal upgrade wheels for this and future projects from Scale Production of Germany. Having tried various options, we settled on these 13-inch ATS bicolour rims. The wheels were painted and weathered. This was done by spraying them in Tamiya Gloss Black. Because they are white metal, you can sand them to reveal the silver colour on the high points. The final touch was to stipple on some dots of Tamiya Panel Line accent colour in brown, using an airbrush set to low pressure. And the tyres got a dirty enamel wash to show dust. To get the shiny finish on the bonnet or hood, first Tamiya Black mixed with lacquer thinner was applied. This was then gently sanded with progressively finer sanding sticks. Once smooth, it was polished to a shine with Tamiya's polishing compounds, working our way through to the finest grit version. The effect wasn't quite perfect, but it fitted our needs. Everything was then test fitted onto the Golf to check the look. The wheels were added using the metal axles supplied in the upgrade kit, but cut down to form axle stubs. To finish off the interior, the door cards were carefully masked off before being sprayed with the same rusty primer that was used on the upper body. followed by some life colour rust shades applied by airbrush, and then dabbed on with a sponge. Then Vallejo liquid mask was randomly applied on top using the same technique. After spraying over in white, the liquid mask was removed to reveal brown rust chips. One door was kept in rust colours because of the outside finish, while the lower rear was painted and finished in the same overall way. The interior paint surface received some light rust applied by airbrush and then as a wash. With the end in sight, it was just a case of gluing everything together using super glue, and we're ready for the next stage. On that note, some people have asked, is it possible to assemble a model painted? As you'll see, if you think it through and use glue very carefully, especially white glue and tiny amounts of super glue, you can do it, just like we did. Next time, we'll paint the engine bay and finish off the model's final details and assembly. You'll also see us do the final exterior weathering stages. Thanks for following this series, and we hope you enjoy it. Please post a comment below. You can also follow on any of our social media channels. Please give us a Facebook like, or hit subscribe to get updated whenever we release a video. Thanks for watching, and bye.
Subscribe for our latest videos.